China has warned against external forces backing Taiwan independence after launching extensive live-fire drills around the island. It comes just 11 days after the US announced its largest ever arms sale to Taipei, worth $11 billion. Taiwan says it spotted 89 Chinese military aircraft, along with 28 warships and Coast Guard vessels encircling the island. It adds that this is the highest number of Chinese aircraft reported for a single day since October last year. State media reporting that the Chinese military has deployed multiple forces in the central Taiwan Strait for its Justice Mission 2025 drills. Military exercises set to continue tomorrow as well, across 7 zones designated by the country's Maritime Safety Administration. China says they are aimed at boosting naval and air force combat readiness.
中国人民解放军开展有关军事演习，是对台独分裂势力以武谋独的严厉惩戒，是捍卫国家主权和领土完整的必要行动。
Taiwan has slammed the drills as a serious threat to regional peace and stability. Premier Cho Jung-tai has urged Beijing to immediately stop the exercises. Taiwan's defense ministry adds that its own forces will be deployed, stating that any attempt to escalate the situation is unacceptable.
在面对这种状况之下，国防部已经立刻成立了应变中心，依照我们的整体的战备规定。 那么，来派遣适切的兵力应处相关的海空情的状况。那么，我们要强调，任何以这种穷兵黩武、不负责任、倒果为因的行为，来升高区域情势的这种做法，都是不可取的。
CNA correspondent Tan Suhui explains how Beijing is framing the purpose of the drills.
Well, China is signaling a strong show of force and strength to Taiwan's so-called separatist forces, and this comes after the U.S. arms sales. Now, the Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson saying that Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party is hell-bent on separating Taiwan from China. It had also said that any attempts to solicit the U.S. help is really emboldening Taiwan's separatist forces, and let's hear from him a little more.
台湾问题是中国核心利益中的核心，中方维护国家主权、安全和领土完整的意志坚定不移。任何在台湾问题上越线挑衅的恶劣行径，必将遭到中方的坚决回击。任何阻挠 中国实现统一的险恶图谋都不会得逞。
Subsequent questions by journalists at that press conference sought to clarify if China was referring to the US when it said external forces, but the spokesperson merely reiterated that China is safeguarding its national sovereignty and that any such moves will be met with unwavering response.
The drills, which include the designation of Taipei's airspace as a temporary danger zone, have prompted the island's aviation authority to look for alternative flight routes. The Transport Ministry estimates more than 100,000 passengers travelling on some 850 flights will be affected tomorrow. International routes could face diversion from dangerous areas or be issued with different paths for their safety. Domestic travel to offshore islands will also be hit. Some 70 flights will reportedly be cancelled, impacting about 6,000 passengers. Now, Justice Mission 2025 is the 6th major military exercise China has launched around Taiwan since then US Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the island in 2022. Now, Beijing viewed that trip as a major provocation and launched what observers called a cold start-style military posture. Exercises included the launching of ballistic missiles, some of which flew over the island. Now, the following year, Beijing conducted combat readiness exercises over a course of 3 days after then Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen returned home from a trip to the US. She had met with Kevin McCarthy, who was the US House Speaker at that time. Then in 2024, the Chinese military raised alarm bells with a series of exercises in response to two speeches by President William Lai. The first came in May, just days after Mr. Lai's inauguration address.